I'm here in Brussels, Belgium, with Marjo Mercado, who is the Ubuntu QA team manager, and we're going to talk a little bit about. I had the opportunity to talk with Marjo during the Lucid cycle, so we're going to talk a little bit about things that happened in Lucid and what we're looking forward to in Maverick. So I know in the Lucid cycle you had talked about employing social media to get people involved with the QA team. How did that work?
It actually worked out quite well. So thanks for asking that question, because that's a great lead-in into what we want to do in Maverick. We found that the more outreach we did during Lucid, the more testing participation we got from everyone in the community. So I think it worked out really well. We started using blogs more. We started using our emailing list from UDEV development and Ubuntu QA and so on. And that worked out really well in terms of getting more people to download the ISOs and do a lot more testing. So we'll continue to do a lot more of that in Maverick.
So in terms of testing and that QA testing for Maverick, I know you have what is considered like opportunistic testers, and you have those testers who are pretty solid on the procedures for the ISO testing. Right. Not that one is more important than the other, but what tends to take priority in your mind? Who do you go after more, those opportunistic testers, or do you want to go after those ones that kind of understand the procedure about the ISO testing, or is there a good mixture of both there?
We really want a good mixture. And for community purposes, for example, what we want to do is encourage people to sign up way ahead of time so that they can go and plan their testing, plan the times that they're available to do testing, and also go ahead and sign up for the images that they want to do the testing on. So in that sense, we want not the opportunistic, as you call them, but the ones that can plan ahead of time so we can rely on them to be there when the ISO testing needs to be done. Now, having said that, we also have a lot of cases where simply people who sign up aren't available during that time that we need them, and therefore the opportunistic testers become very important, and we also want to do an outreach for them. Now, the challenge there, of course, is because it's opportunistic, it's not something that we can plan ahead. We're hoping that when we have the calls for testing that people will get the communication, go ahead and sign up just at the right time. They'll look at what's available to be tested, and at that point go ahead and do the testing for us. It's a little bit more challenging, but we really need to do a mix of both.
So I know that the bug squad and the translation folks and patch people and all that, they have like patch days and translation days and bug days and stuff like that. Is there anything like each week or each month that the QA teams plan on doing during the Maverick cycle to get more people involved in that QA process?
So we currently don't have any plans along those lines, but what we're looking at doing is what we call structured testing. And what we want to do is go ahead and work with the different teams to make sure that when they have special needs for either milestone or pre-milestone kind of testing, or specialized testing maybe for graphics cards and so on, is a good example. We'll go ahead and help them do what we call structured testing. That way, we get the calls out for testing, we get to monitor and track the progress of the testing and put out the test results so everybody benefits. And it's one of those things that you need to plan ahead so you can have all the communication pieces in place, and also to go ahead and post the results in a timely manner. If you don't do that ahead of time and you don't do planning, you really don't get the benefits of the community participation that we're really looking for, and then you don't get as good testing as you would hope for.
Where can the community find your team, and what's the easiest way for them to get in touch with your team to say, hey, I'm here, I want to help?
Well, the best way is to use our Ubuntu QA kind of mailing list, and that way everybody gets a first-hand look at your email coming in, and then we point you to the right direction when it comes time to sign you up. But we really want to get out there and reach as many people as we can so that we can sign them up, have them in place for the testing when we need them, and when we put out the calls for testing, then we're able to reach out to them in a very easy manner. So.
If they're an IRC person and prefer IRC, do you have an IRC channel they can pop into and say, hey, I'm here, where do I go?
Yes, so there's always Hash Ubuntu, but there's also more specific channels called Hash Ubuntu Testing, for example. So that's where we hang out a lot, is Hash Ubuntu Testing.
Marjo, thank you so much for telling everybody about what to expect in 10.10, and looking forward to seeing that, and looking forward to seeing community get involved with the QA process. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber.